Today, I'll show you how to design a simple rabbit in Krita, export it as a PSD, and import it into Moho. I'll walk you through, step by step, which bones I use to rig the artwork. These steps also work for PNG images. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button to support the channel. First, design your character in Krita. This is a quick sketch I created using Krita, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. For this example, I've designed two characters, a boy rabbit and a girl rabbit. Here are all my layers. I've already renamed them in advance, so I won't need to rename anything once we import the file into Moho. Once you're satisfied with your design, go to Export or Advanced Export in Krita. From the options, choose Adobe Photoshop PSD as the file format, give the file any name you like, and save your work. Then open Moho. You'll be ready to import it straight away. You can either use the General Import option or go to the Layer panel and select Image. Another quick method is simply dragging and dropping the file directly into Moho. Either way, Moho will ask you if you want to import as individual, composite, or selected layers. Individual layers. Each layer from your PSD file is imported separately into Moho. Best for animation, because you can rig and animate each part, example, head, arms, legs, independently. More flexible, but requires careful layer naming and organization in Krita. Composite. All layers are merged into a single, flattened image. Useful if you don't need to animate individual parts and just want the artwork as one piece. Faster and simpler, but you lose the ability to rig or move separate elements. Selected layers. Lets you choose only specific layers from your PSD to import. Handy if you want to animate certain parts, like the rabbit's ears or arms, but keep the rest static. Saves time and keeps your Moho project lighter by avoiding unnecessary layers. I prefer using the Selected Layers option because it lets me preview the layers before importing them into Moho. This way, I can choose exactly which parts of the artwork I want to bring in, keeping the project clean and organized. The reason I use the Selected Layers option is that I often design several characters within the same Krita document. By previewing and choosing only the layers I need, I can import just the specific character I want into Moho without bringing in unnecessary elements. So, I have all my layers neatly arranged here, but on the canvas they appear scattered. This happens because I drew each part of the body in separate Inkscape files, instead of building everything on new layers from the same reference image. Now I'm going to rearrange these two characters into separate groups, the pink rabbit and the blue rabbit. To do this, I'll hold down Shift and select only the layers I want for each group. If I need to skip a layer, I will click Control and click the layer I need. Next, I'll right-click and choose Group with Selection. Now you can see the pink rabbit neatly organized into one group. I'll repeat the same process for the blue rabbit, which is even easier since those are the only layers left. For this, I'll click the first and last layer while holding Shift, then right-click and select Group with Selection. I will rename each group like Blue Rabbit and the other pink rabbit. Now I'm going to rearrange all the parts on my canvas to form the character. But before I start, I'll hide one of the groups so we don't get confused during the rigging process. While doing this, I'll duplicate the layers I need in pairs, such as the arms, legs, and shoes. Then I'll drag each duplicated layer into position, arranging them where they belong to form the complete character. Now I'm going to import the hand layers from Krita again. I'll use the Image Layer option to bring them in and select only the parts one need. I'll pause the video while I arrange the hands into a group so everything stays organized. Next, I'll convert the hand groups into a switch layer. This way, only one part of the hand will be visible at a time, which is perfect for animating different hand poses without cluttering the canvas. Now we'll move on to adding bones to our character, just like we would with any other rig. I'll begin by placing a point bone to anchor the structure, and then follow up with traditional bones to connect and control the different parts of the body. Let's bind the parts to the bones. I'll start with the layer binding method, but I'll only bind the parts one actually need. First, I'll click on the main bone layer, then select the head layer. From the Layer Tools menu, I'll choose Bind Layer to attach the head to the bone. I'll continue the same process with the right hand and the shoe, binding each one to its corresponding bone. For the ears, I'll first click on the main bone layer, then switch to the Select Bone tool. I'll highlight the two ear bones. Go to the Bone menu and choose Create Smooth Joint for Bone Layer. This will allow the ears to bend and move naturally instead of being rigidly bound. Do that for the other ear, both arms, both legs, and the shirt. We can then go on to check the rigging and correct any misaligned joint with a smart bone. Now I'll add the eyes, but this time I'll create them as vector layers so they stay crisp and editable. Alongside that, I'll add two extra bones, which will serve as control bones. I will also add the mouth and the nose and bind them to the head bone using a bind layers method. I'll now rename the bones for clarity. The right bone will be renamed to RB, and the left bone will be renamed to pound. This makes it easier to identify them quickly when rigging or animating. Now I'll go to the Bone Constraints panel and target the knee bones to the two control bones separately. This way, each knee will follow its assigned control bone. If you want more flexibility, you can also increase the squash and adjust the maximum IK stretch settings. This gives the rig extra elasticity and smoother movement when animating. Now let's use smart bones to correct some of the body parts before we begin our first rigging. Smart bones allow us to create custom bone actions that fix distortions or improve how parts bend. By setting up these corrections now, we'll make sure the character deforms more naturally during animation. To learn more about how to set up smart bones in detail, please visit the video link shown on the screen. That resource will guide you step by step through the process and give you extra tips for refining your rig. Now I'll do a quick walk cycle to demonstrate how great this character is. This will show how all the parts we've rigged, like the bones, bindings, and smart bones corrections, work together in motion. That's it for today's tutorial. We've built and rigged our character step by step, and even tested it with a quick walk cycle. I hope this guide helps you in your own animation projects. If you enjoyed this video and found it useful, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next tutorial. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.